Alright, I've been meaning to do more Kimbra related content, so decided it was time. Today was the day. We're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna listen to the Kimbra song Like They Do on the TV. This is maybe my second favorite song of hers. Obviously my favorite is Settle Down. I really like this song and I think there's a decent amount to talk about. There's a lot of choices that she makes here, particularly in the chorus. Melodic, chord related choices, rhythmic choices. There's a lot of stuff that's really great. So I'm just gonna listen to it, okay? We're gonna listen. Alright.
Find a place that keeps you safe. Get down till the light of day. Ain't nobody you can blame.
So first thing I want to point out is how close the vocals are. She's just one single vocal track. It's just right here in the middle. It's very prominent, really loud. It's mixed really high and not a lot of reverb, which kind of gives it that feeling of she's just right in front of you, just singing it right to you. But something that's interesting is you can hear kind of at the end of that phrase, some reverb kind of like washes in a bit, right? Ain't nobody you can blame. And then it kind of play. There's a little bit of delay even. For the most part, that vocal was very just close and in your face. It kind of backs out right at the end there. More of ear candy than anything else. I don't know if there's like a specific purpose to it, but I like it. I think it's cool. I also like the melody here. I gotta find my notes here. This note right here, a little bit unexpected to hit that, going that interval. It's just one semitone apart, but spaced out across the octave. So doing that interval, really, that's making, I like this chord. I think it's like a major 7. Yeah, that's a major 7. All right, so a G major 7. So she's hitting, when, what's the bass note here? So she's hitting that kind of, we'll just say she's doing a G major 7. Weird, right? But if we kind of play it, right? Hitting all those notes with that bass progression. Really cool. I like that a lot. Moving on.
I've been looking far and wide, running from the fear inside.
A little slight change there and it makes a big difference. Going up to that note instead, just adding one little new thing and it moves everything forward. And that's what I'm always talking about, always, but just little things that move a song forward. And she's so damn good at that. It's such a subtle thing, but that's all you gotta do. That's all you need. You don't have to do some crazy new melody change. You just change one little thing. Go from doing to going. Just, oh, we're getting ready to move on to a new part. So I'm gonna pause right there. So far, the bass line has been this. It's a little bit of a dark sound that you get from that. I mean, obviously playing it like that emphasizes it, but it's a little bit angrier, darker. It's a little bit heavy. One would expect a chorus of this type of song to just be bigger, darker, heavier, more intense. But let's see what the chorus sounds like. Who knows what it'll sound like? I don't know. I love that. And that's my favorite thing about this song. She's hitting these, you know, just like intense, dark sounding things. And it's not, you know, it's not like the darkest, most intense thing ever, but it's much more in that direction. And we would think that the chorus would continue that way, but she throws a total curveball at us and gives us this happier, lighter sounding thing. I mean, the chorus is by far the happiest, lightest sounding part of the entire song. And that shouldn't work, but it totally does because it's handled so well. And the melody she picks is just so simple, so elegant, so clean. It still feels like the same song, but it's something totally unexpected at the same time. Striking that balance, I think, is maybe the hardest thing to do in songwriting. Really, the big change isn't entirely in the bass line. The vocals suddenly have much more reverb. They're much farther back, much more angelic and light. You got a little part here I don't know what instrument that is, just some synth, and it's doing that, just looping. So many things that are just brighter and more, there's just more high end coming in. It's on the vocals, and you hear that little thing. I can't really describe the sound as, you know. It makes this song rise suddenly into this new plane that I just never would have expected it to go.
I'm older now, and I feel my time start to begin.
I said a lot about the transition from the first verse to the first chorus, but it transitions back into the verse again really, really seamlessly. And yeah, at that point, all she's got to do is just add a little part to the second verse, and we feel like the song is still moving, it's still giving us new things. I love that little ending part where the vocals just go full reverb, full, you know, far awayness. That really sets us up nicely for the chorus again. And at this point, we've heard the chorus, so we know what's coming. But it's still just a really, really nice feeling to be brought into that lighter, happier space in the chorus. Again, just so unusual to do that. Typical, unexpected, strange Kimbra harmonies right there. So she's doing this thing. There's a little bit of dissonance there. It doesn't totally make sense, and yet it does. It just fits. She's just like, what sounds good to me? What'll sound a little bit quirky and unique? And she just kind of goes with it. She's not doing something like. It'd be kind of boring to hear that. She's doing this super weird. It just adds a new flavor to the chorus.
I've been looking far and wide, running from fear inside. Just close your eyes and try.
I stopped right here because at this point, something I wanted to point out, we've heard two choruses, and that's kind of one area of this song, right? We have the darker thing that's going on in the verses. In this chorus area where things are a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun and happy and bright, we haven't heard it be really big. That's another thing that is amazing, that it works in this song, that the chorus doesn't really sound that big. It's just such a strong melody and such a strong hook that it doesn't really even matter. But at the same time, it's like, I'd like to hear that sound, that area with this bass line that we pointed out earlier. I'd like to hear that, but really big and loud and bombastic as kind of the climactic moment of the song. I'm just hoping that she does that right here. We'll see. What do you know? She does. You've got this lower synth that is moving around, doing a little bit of, you know, doing that kind of stuff. Adds more movement, more meat to this part. The drums just hit harder. The chords are being emphasized a little bit harder. I don't think there was before any instrument that was just straight up playing chords, and there definitely is now. So yeah, drums doing some funky things, kicks going do 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 do, and then doing that triplety. Just like, whoa, what's going on there? A little bit of ear candy, a little bit of experimenting, and just keeping it fresh and interesting. And a tasteful sax. Saxophone isn't great on every song, I don't think. When it's done right, when it's used in the right way, it doesn't have to sound like that. It doesn't have to make you think of like cheesy, smooth jazz. This is something where it's used perfectly. It's exactly what it needs to be. A soaring, very, very simple, just playing hitting notes that are very harmonically pleasing. It totally works because you're not expecting to hear a sax when you're listening to this song. That didn't cross your mind as you were listening to this the first time. It sure didn't cross mine. So it's just another thing that is a little bit out of the blue, but it works because it's a simple part that melodically was meant to be in the song, right? Any instrument could have played as kind of a lead part, and it would have worked. A guitar could have done it, some synth lead could have done it, whatever. Going to the saxophone, it's just something that we wouldn't have expected in this particular song. She has a melody that is not unexpected, played by an instrument that is unexpected. Perfectly walking that line between experimenting a little bit too hard and not experimenting enough and making things a little bit robotic and boring. She's just right there in that sweet spot this whole song. And hear all that reverb that it ends with. So yeah, this is more modern Kimbra. This came out in 2018. Definitely different from Settle Down, but there's a lot of similarities. That theme of throwing in unexpected things, whether it's a slightly weird vocal harmony or a saxophone when you're not expecting it, the drums being a little bit rhythmically strange, doing some weird triplets, or the chorus being just a totally different chord progression than you would have expected. That is a big strength of Settle Down. I think Settle Down is, I mean, it's kind of like the crown jewel example of that, but this is also a really great example of it. Yeah, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to do that. Like this video if you want to do that. I make music of my own. I would say that I am very inspired by Kimbra. I don't know if I'd say that my music is like similar to Kimbra's, but a lot of things that she does hit home for me, as you can probably tell from my reactions to like everything in this song. If you like Kimbra, you might like my music. I really don't know, but I would be really grateful if you checked it out and let me know what you think. Give me your honest opinion. I feel like I had something else to say, but I kind of always feel like that at the end of videos, so whatever, I'm just gonna end it. I'll see you in the next video.